Hey, welcome to the Chambercast. Your host Jay Heish, episode number 3, and I got with me in the interview room with me today, Miss Tina Fraley. How are you, Tina?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. You are representing the Powerhouse Studios here in Hagerstown, which I know, as my personal journey along with you, has grown.
Yes, it has.
It's very impressive.
Thank you very much.
And most people watch this know who you are or what you're about, but why don't you tell us a bit about the whole...
So Powerhouse Studios started online. It started with a water challenge, and it was a way when COVID had shut everything down.
I remember that.
I wanted something that could connect us again, something simple, something that would allow us to focus on showing up and finding routines.
Right.
And water was something that was fairly simple.
Fairly universal.
Universal.
Yeah, we can all agree on water, right?
Free.
In this crazy world.
And it could be used in creative ways. So things like water challenges and asking for the most creative way in which to drink water. And we had everything from people pretending to siphon it from their fish tanks to visiting outside local...
A little salty.
Visiting outside local areas that had naturally occurring water, and they're popping the straw down in the stream. But it was a way to add humor to a very dark time. It was a way to really highlight how important connection and being together in every present moment possible was. And for me, that was a huge part of my own health and wellness journey.
Right.
I had gone through a great deal of that myself individually, losing 150 pounds, understanding that the mindset piece and the practices you put in place really make or break those aspects.
100%.
Burpees and broccoli are definitely a part of things.
Burpees and broccoli? I'll pass on broccoli. No, it's all good.
We'll do zucchini or
I could do zucchini.
Brussels sprouts. Really good in the air fryer.
I'm not a vegetable
A little bit
guy,
of butter.
but I dabble.
But yeah, so everything started essentially online in this community of people that wasn't just Washington County, it was beyond. Friends in Canada and New Mexico and California and Texas. And it was just an incredible way to highlight how far-reaching the heart is and the universal aspects of wellness are.
Absolutely.
So we went from a water challenge to then a health bet, and through about a 9-month span of time, it grew from 7 people to about 400. Which was an incredible...
Do the math in my head. Let's ask Paul out there.
It was an incredible, audacious experience to go through, and it was very humbling. My oldest son of my 7 crew was doing a lot of this with me. His particular outlet was movement, was exercise, and when everything shut down, you could barely get a plate weight, let alone a dumbbell or an exercise machine. So it really sent us back to using the parks. It sent us back to using the backyards, to being outside again and really grounding.
Make some space for it.
And then I had an opportunity come available to me through a friend who had moved her studio into Mulberry Lofts.
Right here in Hagerstown,
She made she made a job change and went back to school and needed someone to take that space over because she didn't want to close it.
Right.
But she didn't want to be in that position anymore. So just a wonderful alignment of divine opportunity, and I was able to say yes, and I had all of these individuals that wanted a space and place to learn how to work out on its typical. And so when everything opened back up, I was able to then bring them in, and I have this boutique little studio that's just a wonderfully welcoming environment. So for me, I was the mom that was too afraid to go to the gym because I didn't want to look like an idiot on the machines.
Now you own a gym.
Right. So from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Right.
But a great deal of what I've done in my business is what is that thing in my own life that I'm struggling with or I need support with or I'm uneducated in and I need help. Like, who's the ask? And that's what I've tried to align with is what are those things that are not being paid mind to, addressed, or given voice.
Right.
And that's what the gym and the healthness center of it all has become. So I've likened it to the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Sure.
I built a water challenge, and then people came, and I built the process of health and wellness, and people keep coming through the doors. And so now we're 2+ years later, and we have a second location opening up off of Oak Ridge.
So right now, Powerhouse Studios is up top, the top floor of the Mulberry Lofts here in Hagerstown.
We're in Suite 310 and
crazy
312.
gymnasium. Surprised the floor can hold it that weight, but it's all good. But now you open the
Very
second.
structurally sound.
Very structurally sound.
Let's make sure that
absolutely. No.
it's been checked.
All love to you, Aaron. But let's talk about your new location, which is where?
It's off Oak Ridge. So we're right next to Leatherman Healthcare, across from the FedEx
and UPS hubs. Yeah.
There's Fratelli's.
Yeah, the sheets on the corner. Oh, by E. Russell Hicks.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
And so we will have, that one is more of a expansive wellness center. So we will have a yoga studio. We will have the group room. We've also got a cardio room. So we've got our spin bikes, our row machines, and the ability for you to kind of go in there and chill out by yourself if you just want to be on your treadmill and doing your thing. And then we have an incredibly large back lot, so blacktop boot camps.
There you go.
We'll be there. Outdoor yoga is an option, and we're in the process of. I work with Leatherman Healthcare really closely.
Shout out Gwen.
Yep. Shout out Gwen.
You'll be here one of these days.
Yes, she will.
Yeah, we're
Gwen,
working on that.
You are going to be here. With wellness workshops.
Yeah.
So one of the aspects of that is highlighting all of the different health and wellness entities, organizations, and businesses in Washington County and beyond. We bring them into Gwen's conference room, and we'll be able to share that space once I'm over there as well, expand the availability to bring more people in. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
We have been able to really educate, inform, open doors to aspects of wellness that weren't even known as an option. Most recently, we just had Premier Spine and Sports over at Leatherman Healthcare.
Nice.
And Dr. Clark was able to talk about...
We're lining them up too. They'll be in here soon,
I got
too.
you.
Yes. No. The list is growing, folks. Make that call. Want to be a guest?
Yes. Yeah. He was able to talk about acupuncture and talk about alternative therapies.
Have you tried that?
I have.
You tried acupuncture?
Oh my God, I love it.
Did you?
Yeah, I was.
Put the needles all in you like a pincushion?
with the needles all
like
in
a voodoo doll? How was it?
It was not painful.
Did it
I
help?
actually, it did. So I used to work in a drug and alcohol rehab when I lived in Albuquerque, and that was one of the ways that they actually helped with the detoxing for the patients.
Acupuncture?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's different areas, and I speak, this is outside my scope and my practice, but my own personal understanding of it. There's areas of the body that can help to decrease the inflammation, decrease the pain tolerance, or increase the pain tolerance, decrease
Maybe
the
we should
receptors.
demonstrate acupuncture on the chamber cast one
I
day.
volunteer.
A little
Dr. Clark,
something
if you're
different,
listening
right?
and
I
that
have a
works,
table.
I'm here.
I have cameras. We can go
I
mobile.
was pregnant with my fourth kid at the time, and he was breech.
Okay.
And I did a series of acupuncture therapies, and it turned him.
It worked out.
So I'm grateful in all ways possible. But yeah.
The crazy thing is I'm sitting here interviewing Tina, and all this wonderful stuff is going on.
Why is that crazy?
Because half of it I already know. Because you and I go back.
Yeah.
Now what's crazy is her business kind of grew and built up during the pandemic, during the lockdown. And I met you literally January 4 years ago of 2020.
Do you remember where we met?
I want to say at what used to be the Nook.
Yes.
Yeah, the coffee shop in the Mulberry Lofts. I had just moved my podcast studio in there, and you were one of the first people to see it and come in. And this was when I was on the first floor, and then I took over this basement spot, which we all know about. And then you started doing your own podcast and all that. But the ironic thing of this whole thing is you were the last person I interviewed live in person before we got grounded and the lockdown started, right? I mean, look here, there's pictures.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the 409 bottles and stuff on the table.
Yeah.
Remember that? We were talking all about that.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, we were not shut down, but we were locked down. But then we came on, we did Zooms.
Yep.
You did a handful of Zooms, which I helped engineer from my side of the world of Hagerstown, and you were on your side of the world, and you started doing the fitness training online on video on the Zoom.
I was doing it all through Zoom.
Yeah.
Just
crazy. And then during all that is when everything for you seemed to grow.
It did.
Kind of.
And that was a very juxtaposed experience emotionally, to go through things from a business perspective and be actively succeeding during a literal turn in life itself
for everybody,
across
right?
the globe seemed very...
Like, you didn't just sit there on lockdown. You did stuff, and you encouraged people to get up.
Yeah.
Which is very easy to sit there dormant, because what are you going to do? We didn't know what the next day was going to bring, let alone next week or whatever. But you kept it going.
I felt very compelled to do that.
It was very inspiring.
Thank you.
For a lot of people, I'm
much.
sure.
Ironically enough, I love that you put it like that, because I actually had a woman reach out to me a couple days ago that used to come on to my lives during that time, because I had done a Facebook Live every day at noon, and my youngest daughter was coming on there as well, just to kind of create camaraderie and just to put the human back in the experience, because so much of what I believe we lost when we put that mask on, we actually were also taking layers of ourselves off, because we had to be vulnerable in ways we weren't equipped to be. We had to be able to connect and reach. I mean, can you remember walking through the grocery stores knowing you had to hold yourself, but connecting with people in their eyes, and all of a sudden you could recognize when someone was smiling, regardless of what you could see.
Oh, the mask,
That.
Well, yeah.
And it's those little micro movements of our human experience that really were starting to be highlighted, which also, in my opinion, meant it needed to be attended to. How could I, as a business person, as a mom, as a woman in the community, just as a human here experiencing all of this, how could I give back in that moment? I knew we were grounded, and I love that you use that word, because that's literally how I experienced it. And even with all of my kids home and helping them to understand, because I mean, one of the interviews that we had done during that time, just prior to it, was my husband and I in here.
That was the last one.
Right after he had his episode with his heart.
That's what the interview was about. You were in the studio.
So there were so many different aspects to just my one life, but how many lives were incessantly exposed to other traumas, stresses, dramas, unknowns.
I'm sure you heard all about it too, especially during the lockdown. People were coming to you.
They're coming online, and this woman reached out to me 2 years later, and she's like, I want to let you know that you and your daughter got me through a really dark time in my life.
That's what I'm saying.
This is 2 years later. I have never met this woman in person. But you don't know the amount of impact you have from a personal perspective, a professional perspective, or the combination therein. But the takeaway for me was I understood that I had the ability to do something. I had
you kept the wheels turning, as I tried to as well.
And by doing that, it helped to shine light on a path for others. It helped to turn that wheel so that the people behind us didn't have to recreate it. And it opens up the doors to connection and collaboration and expansion and growth.
That's it.
And I think that's, in a nutshell, that's what Powerhouse does.
That's it.
The expansion of the new space is going to be able to give people that Zen location to detach on purpose and ground themselves in a positive, powerful environment that allows for peace.
So when does the new location open?
We are supposed to be open in March. I'm
that's
waiting
the goal,
on
March?
Yes, we're supposed to be.
But
they're laying
probably
floor
April.
down this week. So
We know how it goes, right?
Yeah.
You say March, but give or take.
But you'll hear it from here to the other side
We'll
of
let you
the
know. She'll let you
county.
know. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Shout it out.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm happy for you.
Thank you very
Proud
much.
of you.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
ExponentUSA.com. If you don't know, now you know. I am Display J, and like our man Eddie says,
you've got a guy.
That would be me for your upcoming trade show, live event, marketing event, stage performance, whatever you need. I'm the guy, the king of all backdrops, including backlit, retractable banner stands, printed table throws, tents, flags, whatever you need, indoors and outdoors for the upcoming event. Let me know. With 3 facilities around the country, I make things happen, especially right here in the DMV area. Reach out to me through the Chamber, and Chamber members, you get 15% off the list of prices, plus free delivery.
You've got a guy. Call Display J at 301-378-9363 or exponetusa.com.
Now, you're in the Chamber, which
Yes,
is why
I am.
we're here.
Yes.
The Chamber cast. What has the Chamber done for you? How do you...
What has the Chamber done for me? The Chamber has
Why are you here?
actually been a huge mentoring opportunity for me. from all of the different individuals and businesses that are a part of it, I have also been able to create friendships and professional collaborations. And I've seen in real time what happens when you collaborate.
Right.
I've seen in real time what happens when like-minded individuals in our business world are coming together on purpose and choosing to help one another.
Right.
To let go of the competitive, it's going to take out of my business's pocket mentality, and literally shoulder next to each other and go, how can I help you?
Right.
And that's probably one of the biggest, it blew my mind, the level of support that was there and available. I've been in other organizations that are supposed to be business-minded, and
It's not.
I've not seen...
It's just a big social circle.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can do
Which is
that
fine.
anywhere.
Yeah,
I can do that at
absolutely,
the coffee
right.
shop. And
There's the business side of things, the
Absolutely
professional side
love
of
that.
things, right.
But the chamber part of things, for me, I think that definitely has been able to be something I can look back and go, this is why my
Right.
business grew. This is literally how I was able to
Right.
make strategic steps in my own business plans and feel confident that the other people in my circle
Right.
are going to go, hey, what about trying this?
Yeah, yeah.
Or hold on a second, that might really not be the angle you want to take because I've tried this and this worked better. Being able to have those walls to bounce ideas and also having that group of my friends.
Yeah.
It's really important to know that you can have an idea and have it be audacious and just way out there. But you can sit in a room full of people that have also done that thing that said couldn't happen.
Right.
You can sit in a Friday morning women's group and see yourself reflected back, see what's possible reflected into the room. And for me personally, the things that I love most is being that one in the chair to watch all of the ahas happen.
Right.
To be a part of those processes and know, oh my goodness, I've watched their business grow. I've watched them as an individual grow in amongst all of us as they're bringing their ideas, their families, their colleagues, their business and professional ideas and happenstances to the table so that we can all learn. The collaboration piece to this makes such a huge difference because we don't need to do it alone. And that's one of the biggest takeaways for me was understanding that that team mentality, that ability for all of us to rise together, that it's really there. And Washington County's Chamber has absolutely driven that home from the very first time I joined, which was years and years ago.
Right.
And I didn't really know what I was doing, and I shied away instead of leaning in and asking. The second time I joined the Chamber, I was floored by the fact that as soon as I said to Donna, like, do you know, can I have help with? She was on it. Within minutes, I had a list of people that I could connect with and be able to ask questions that maybe I wouldn't have been as confident to ask in the beginning.
Absolutely.
But the support is
it's a good crew of people over there. That's why you should join the Chamber. If you're a business member in the Washington County area, if you haven't joined the Chamber yet, you should think about it. Come to one of our events, the bash events, especially the Chamber bashes. Shout out.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow. Well, yeah.
Going,
whenever they watch this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm going to be there.
Okay, I'll be there. Right there, flying boxcars. We'll be there. All right. Hey, Tina, I want to thank you for coming on. And again, it's the Powerhouse Studios.
Yes.
And a new location opened up. We'll put the information on the screen here so they can all see it. And well, thank you for coming on. You're more than welcome to come on later on, future episodes. Absolutely, you're more than this is the open door here. Right?
Paul, can I come back?
Paul's already left. I'm just kidding. All right, well, hey. Well, thank you all for joining us. Again, this is the Chambercast. I'm Jay Heish, my guest, Tina Fraley.
Thank you for joining
us.
us.
I'll see you next time. Later.